Broadcasting from the Keep Moving Forward Creator Studios, it's time for the Athletes of the Titan Games podcast. This limited release show features the stories of the 2019 contestants of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's athletic competition, NBC's The Titan Games. Now here's your host, Katie Galley.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Athletes of the Titan Games podcast. I'm your host, Katie Galley. In the Keep Moving Forward Creator Studio with me today, I have Titan Games athlete and construction worker Mike Evans. How are you doing, Mike?
I'm doing awesome. How about you?
I'm doing great too. Thanks so much for stopping by and sharing your story with us today.
Oh, of course, definitely.
So just to kick things off, I wonder, where did you grow up and how, if at all, was your childhood shaped by athletics?
So I grew up in Lowell, Massachusetts, and I ended up after about, I think I was about seven years old, I started to move around a lot. So this kind of made it difficult to play sports because I was always moving around. Mm-hmm. And, I always enjoyed sports, so I would play with my friends whenever I could. But unfortunately, from moving around so much, I could never, play organized sports growing up.
Yeah. And so from there, moving around so much and having that experience as a young child, what was that like for you? Was it challenging? Did you really know anything else because you didn't, you didn't stay in one place for too long, or was it kind of hard to make friends? Just how was it navigating that as a young person?
Well, for me, I always did well integrating myself, socially, like finding new friends. And still, staying friends with my friends that I knew back at the places I used to live at. But I didn't really have a problem, socializing with other people. But it was kind of a mixture of both, really, where I didn't know any better. I didn't know anything else, really. So at the time, being a child like that, I didn't think it was normal, but I just kind of adapted to it. You kind of have to.
Yeah. And you're right. You just have to adapt. It's if that's the way your life is living and that's the way you have your experiences, and you have to figure out how to adapt and how to utilize those experiences to your advantage.
Definitely. Yeah. And as a kid, I would always visualize things better than they actually were in times of hardship rather than, it's easy to visualize good things happening when things are good. But if you can visualize good things in times of struggle, then I really think that, you can get through a lot of your problems and you can really just keep moving forward that way.
Oh man, I like that a lot. Visualizing good things and having that positive energy, even if the circumstances around you seem to be falling apart, you're struggling. How are you going to use those circumstances? How are you going to flip the script kind of and look at them in a different light?
Yeah, for sure. You have to, what I do, and I know a lot of people do this, they use their hardships as fuel for their motivation going forward.
Yeah.
And that's a huge advantage. Not everybody has hardships in their life, and they can still obviously move forward and do great things in life. You don't have to you don't have to struggle in life to make it and to have extra motivation. But, when you're in that spot where you're struggling and, you're seeming you can't find your way, you can kind of, find that extra motivation through your struggles.
Yeah, absolutely. And that makes sense to draw on those in that way. So when you, from that young age, though, developing that ability to visualize positive things over negative things, no matter the circumstances that surrounded you, how did you develop that? How did you kind of harness that and utilize that to your advantage? Did you learn it just over time from your own experiences? Were your parents a big influence in that?
Well, I think I've seen how great life can be, where if it was looking up to athletes or just celebrities or successful people, I could see how great life could be, and I knew deep down inside that that's something that I want, especially from coming from a struggling childhood. I just, in the back of my head, I always knew how good things could be if I never gave up and I actually believed in myself. And I know that just one day I could make it there if I actually gave myself a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And so In that vein, I mean, how did you ultimately end up on this, on the successful path that you're on? So I'm drawing on those experiences from your childhood and ultimately leading you, into this, this fitness lifestyle that you lead and also into this profession that you're in today as a construction worker.
Right.
So,
I mean, growing up, I never, like I said before, I never played organized sports, but I was always active. I was always outside, like whether it was riding a bike, throwing a football, like playing baseball, all that stuff. I feel like just over time, I just was so active that I became athletic. And yeah, like my job today is a very, it's a very physical job. And that plays into, staying in shape as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so how then did you find yourself on this path, on the construction path? And ultimately, I mean, like you're saying, it's a very physically demanding job. So physical fitness has to be a part of your daily routine. So then how did you come upon this career path of going into construction?
Well, this is actually my family's business.
Okay.
So growing up, I was unfortunate. We didn't have a lot of money. Living with my mom, we didn't have a lot of money. And so I looked at this as an opportunity to where I got out of high school, and my main focus was to make money because, like I said, growing up, there wasn't much money, and I saw how the struggle could be, and I said to myself, I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to struggle. So I saw this as a perfect opportunity to come right out of high school and just start making money.
Yeah.
And it's a way for me to kind of give back to my family to help them out. But also I feel like they're giving me a head start in life where I can get things together and, also focus on my fitness.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful thing. I mean, to go into a business with your family and like you're saying, having that support system behind you, but you also being able to give back and help them in that way too.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not easy. Like, I work out every night for about 2 hours, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less.
Wow.
But a regular work day is about 7 hours, 7 to 8 hours, and that too can be a little less, a little more. And, I just have become so disciplined that no matter what kind of day I've had, whether it's at work or just in general, that I make sure that I get to the gym and I put in that work because I know that if I'm able to get there and just put in the work that I need to in the gym, that, down the road, it's all going to pay off.
So, why then did you start even going to the gym? Why did I know you saying, it's natural in the profession that you're in, you need to be physically fit, but why do you dedicate that time? Why did you develop that dedication to go to the gym for 2 hours? Are you training for something in particular?
So I didn't start working out till I was 22 and I'll be 26 in like 2 weeks.
Wow.
So I've really only been working out for not even 4 years yet. So, a lot of my life, like through high school and everything, I was kind of just lost. Like, I definitely didn't have a direction. And it was until I was 22 years old and I was sitting at home watching something on TV, and it just had to do with like athletics and just fitness and just seeing people in great shape. And me, I just, at the point, I didn't have any confidence. I didn't like the way that I looked, and I knew that I needed to do something to change. And, like, I knew it started with me. Like, I'd have to do something. Like, things aren't just going to change magically,
Yeah, and that's amazing to be sitting on the couch watching TV and then having it dawn on you that you wanted to make a change, and having, I think a even bigger step though is having that realization of, well, that's going to start with me, and what are the steps that you're going to take in order to begin that betterment process.
Oh, absolutely. And so this is what I did. I was willing to open myself up to inspiration, and I feel like, if you're willing to open yourself up to being inspired and like looking up to people and not having a bad attitude against people that are successful, or, you just don't find jealousy in looking at people that have, made something of themselves, I feel like you can, benefit massively from doing that. And so what I did was, my neighbor had a workout bench underneath his porch. And so I asked him if I could have it. I was like, hey, can I have that workout bench? Like, I'm probably going to start using it. So I cleaned it up, brought it up to my room, bought two 20-pound dumbbells, and I started to work out for 5 months in my bedroom before I even built up the confidence to join a gym.
Wow. Man, that's I mean, that's amazing, and I think it's a really big testament to anyone who's just sitting there lacking the confidence or lacking the drive, the will, the motivation, whatever it is, to just get up and get going, to get up and take that first step. So for you, it took you 5 months before you even had the confidence to set foot in a gym, but you took those steps that you knew you needed to take to develop that confidence in order to make that necessary next step in this progress towards your goal.
Right. And, it was a long 5 months, but I even was trying to work out so hard that I ended up getting like tendonitis in both of my arms.
Oh, man.
And so what happens is pretty much like I was just stressing out my joints and my tendons way too much because I hit the ground running. And so I told you I started off with two 20-pound dumbbells. I had to go and get 10-pound dumbbells and start from that.
Wow.
So I literally started from like really no weight. And this is all in 2015. So, that's not even 4 years yet.
Yeah.
I started in spring of 2015, and I've just been so motivated that, I took that 5 months. I built up the confidence to where I felt pretty decent about myself. I joined a gym, and, I haven't looked back since. And I still feel like I'm just getting started because, you look at most people that work out or have even been on the Titan Games, have been working out for 10, 15 years. And I've managed to just kind of go 0 to 100 in just, a few years.
Yeah. Wow. So and that's amazing too, to have started your fitness. Yeah, it's such a testament to your discipline and your will. I mean, it's just having that desire within you to go and knowing, you started your fitness journey later in life, but that didn't discount you in any way. It qualified you even more because you knew, you had those experiences and you knew that you wanted to change. So you were able to just dive all in at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want something for yourself, you'll find a way to make it happen. And like I said, I found a weight bench. I went out and bought weights, and I literally just started working out in my bedroom because there was no way I was gonna go and just jump into a gym and like feel really awkward and just feel weird about myself.
Yeah.
So I knew that I just had to kind of, just behind closed doors, go to work, start this journey. And then, eventually join a gym.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and I love that so much that you did start later in life, but you had that drive and you developed that confidence in order to join a gym. And so now fast forward, I mean, you're almost 4 years now into this truly disciplined fitness journey. So how did it ultimately lead you to be a contestant on this season's Titan Games?
Yeah, so the Titan Games was actually announced on my birthday last year in 2018.
Wow.
It was after during the Super Bowl halftime. But I didn't find out until later in February. And I was just browsing online, and I think I came across one of The Rock's Instagram posts or on his YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
It was a short video that just said, I'm looking for disciplined people that don't take no for an answer, that are just, willing to be great in life. And I'm sure it spoke to millions of people, but it spoke to me, and I started to fill it out, and I came across the section where it asked me for athletic background.
Mm-hmm.
Am I like a professional athlete? Am I NCAA collegiate athlete? And right there, I was like, oh, man, this is where the big brick wall just gets lined up, and I just get stopped. Because unfortunately I didn't play sports when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, well, shoot, I'm just going to, just fill it out and continue with it. And just let's not that be a problem. I don't want that to stop me. And then I went along and they wanted to make me, I made a minute and like 30-second video. And it was literally just me walking. I think it was after the gym. I was walking and I was just talking about what I wanted to do, and I wanted to show people that, it doesn't matter where you come from, what you've been through, or how you felt about yourself, that you can do anything in life as long as you work hard and you never give up. And that was pretty much it. I mean, I didn't send them any workout clips or anything. And then you fast forward like a month later, I ended up getting an email, and I never saw it, but it was a follow-up email for the Titan Games. They wanted workout videos, they wanted workout clips, all that stuff to see if I was, capable of doing these challenges.
Man.
And I never saw that email.
So when you didn't see the email, then how did you, when did you eventually see the email? Did you get a call? How did you become aware that you were going to make it to or they wanted to see more of you to see if you would qualify?
Right. So that was a month after I filled out the initial application. Never saw that email. Then another month passed by. So we're talking now April. I get a phone call, and, it was out of nowhere. And it was from the Titan Games, and they were interested in my, application. And they said that I had a strong presence and a high energy level, and they could, definitely see me standing next to The Rock on TV.
Wow.
And from there, I was like, that's unbelievable. Like, I can't even believe it.
Yeah.
But they wanted more, pictures, videos about work. I mean, I probably sent them like a handful more videos, just to have followed up so that I could be ultimately invited out to the Titan Games Combine, which was in July.
Mm-hmm. Man. So, I mean, from this incredible experience that you've had now, going on this fitness journey that really is just beginning, like you're saying, you're really getting into it, and then having the opportunity come up to be a contestant on this season's Titan Games. I wonder, reflecting back on, this journey that you've had, what would you say is your definition of a Titan, and how do you believe that your experience on the games this year will now carry over into the rest of your life?
I think the definition of a Titan is just somebody who is willing to never give up. They can't make any excuses. They have to take, action for, what they believe they want to be in life, and just always push forward.
Mm-hmm.
You can never look back or never go back. You just got to keep pushing forward, and believe in yourself. That's the huge thing out of all this. You have to believe in yourself, because that's coming from me, where I had no athletic background. I in a way didn't believe in myself that I could make it on the show, because I was just comparing myself to other people, whether it be collegiate athletes or professional athletes or fitness models or whatever it be. I was like, well, that can't be me. I can't be picked on the show. And this is just, a perfect example of believing in yourself and knowing that that person that you don't think can be you can definitely be you.
I really love that. And it's not, like you're saying, it's not discounting yourself before it even begins, not disqualifying yourself when you have no idea what the skill set that you have, the talent that you have, what you could bring to the table, and that you could be uniquely qualified for exactly the thing that you're aiming towards.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just a perfect example. And that's a huge thing that I've taken away from being on the Titan Games, is that it's learning that, I can do and be anything that I want to be, really. You can never count yourself out.
Yep, absolutely. Never count yourself out. And so, Mike, from this really, truly amazing journey that you've led so far, and now going forward strongly into this fitness career that you found, and coming off of this, this season of the Titan Games, and looking forward to all these new goals that you have set for yourself. I just have one final question that I ask all of my interviewees. What do you want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for someone that did something significant, and I really just want to give back to people that were kind of like me, where they, had a tough childhood. Maybe they lost a parent, or maybe they just didn't have a direction in life. I would like to, ultimately be a role model to those people, because I sort of didn't have a role model growing up, and I know what it's like to struggle and not have a role model and to kind of be lost. So I would love to just, keep working hard, doing what I'm doing, and just, become a role model to others that could possibly need it in their life.
I really like that. Living authentically and just by the life that you're leading, then inspiring others along the way. You never know who you're touching with just truly being you and doing the things that you do best every single day. Someone's watching and they're being inspired. They're being helped by you. And so it's just continuing on that legacy. You're inspiring the next generation, and then that person you've inspired can help the next.
Right, absolutely. And one thing I did want to say was I had told you that, I was watching TV back in 2015, and I was willing to take inspiration from TV. And then you fast forward, I think at the time it was about 3.5 years, because we filmed back last summer for the Titan Games. I kind of switched roles, because in 2015, I was the one sitting at home watching TV, and then all those years later, I'm the one on TV now inspiring people at home. So it's just really crazy to understand that I did that in just those 3 years. And it's very fulfilling to me.
Thank you all for tuning in to today's installment of the Athletes of the Titan Games podcast. To learn more about each of these Titan athletes, be sure to check out their information in the links in my show notes. Furthermore, to stay up to date on all things coming out of the Keep Moving Forward Creators Studio, be sure to subscribe to the Keep Moving Forward podcast iTunes channel and follow along on social media, also available in the show notes. As the creator of the Titan Games, Mr. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says, "Titans aren't born, they're made." And I hope today's story helped you realize all that you are capable of becoming if you put in that hard work and just keep moving forward.